Hi, I'm the Bald Man from world-renowned YouTube channel Baldfc. Before I share another banger video with you guys, I wanted to share with you guys a very serious cause that's very close to my heart. There's been a pandemic ravaging England. Could be crossing the pond and hitting America very soon, so it's super important for me to share this with you guys. So it's called VAR. It was originally designed in a top secret lab, and it was originally purposed to help referees make educated decisions based on video evidence, but it's evolved. Now when the pressure's on, VAR makes refs' brains temporarily turn into lemon lime jello. Reports say so far it's only been lemon lime, but who knows, we could see a strawberry or maybe even a blue raspberry soon. But welcome back to the channel. I've got a pretty exciting week of Premier League action for you guys, so let's get into some points for this week. First game of the week was Man United versus Everton. Ended 2-0 to Man United thanks to two penalties, both earned by Alejandro Garnacho. Bournemouth tied Sheffield United 2-2. With a missed penalty and a goal ruled for offsides, Dominic Solanke had a rough week. But the Cherries were saved by a late equalizer from Unal. Another match with a late equalizer. Crystal Palace tied Luton Town 1-1. Luton scored that late goal cross that got flicked in. Wolves took 3 points over Fulham. I wanted to shout out Alex Iwobi for his last-minute goal. It was an awesome little flick over the keeper from point-blank range. Definitely would check that one out if you haven't seen it already. Arsenal beat Brentford 2-1 to go top of the table. Aaron Ramsdale, of course, the good and the bad. Great distribution this game until under pressure he makes mistakes, and he said it himself. Havertz has endeared himself to the Arsenal fans with yet another winner. I think to put him on 8 goals for the season for Arsenal. Also want to shout out Ivan Toney. In the 55th minute, had an amazing attempt on goal that, I mean, if it went in, could have been goal of the season. Could have been an amazing goal. Brighton with a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. West Ham versus Burnley, 2-2. Amazing end-to-end game there. Fofana from on loan from Chelsea with another banger strike. Danny Ings proves his worth coming off the bench. Had a late equalizer ruled out and then scored it a minute later with a beautiful volley. Had a volley come off the crossbar. A super exciting last 8 minutes of extra time in that match. City 1, Liverpool 1. Game ripe with controversy and great football. This game had the potential to be a title decider. We will see how it looks near the end of the season, but we'll be revisiting that later. And the final game of the game week was Chelsea edging out Newcastle with a 3-2 win. Great performances from Cole Palmer as well as Nico Jackson, both of them getting some goals. And then also just want to shout out Jacob Murphy with one of the cleanest strikes I've seen all season, just a bullet into the top corner. But we'll take a quick look at the table here, and I'll get into my 3 points from this week. Point number 1, the Spurs are flying. Tottenham puts 4 past Aston Villa this week in a super important win in the race for top 4. Game started out very different than the final scoreline would have showed, but first half was really a lot of chances for Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins had a goal ruled out for offsides, had a couple chances squandered, got to be more clinical, but Tottenham survived the half, and at halftime, the game flipped. Tottenham really took control of the game, took over possession, ending the game with 69% possession and over 400 more passes than Aston Villa. The goal started off with a nice cross hammered home by James Maddison. Heung-min Son had, I think, 2 assists and a goal. Assisted the Timo Werner goal, assisted the Brennan Johnson goal, and scored his own to earn him the man of the match. This puts Tottenham 2 points behind Aston Villa with a game in hand. and that game is going to be played soon against Chelsea. So we'll see how that goes. That will be a very interesting game. As we saw earlier this season, Chelsea beat them 4-1. Tottenham, I'd say, is 100% a much better team. We'll see how the day goes. Point number 2, City versus Liverpool blows the title race wide open. Thanks to this 1-1 draw and Arsenal winning, Arsenal leapfrogs both these teams into first place. It ends 1-1 thanks to goals from John Stones and a penalty from Alexis McAllister. Massively important game with title implications. To break down the game, it was a fairly close match. Near the end, Liverpool was starting to edge out Man City, and if there was 5 more minutes, the winner could have come, and it was probably going to. Liverpool had the better of the chances, were able to create more of that match. They had 19 shots. Man City only had 10. 490 passes. It was really interesting to see a team outpossess Man City. We never really get to see that. But the game did end with the same amount of shots on target for both teams. So Liverpool, of course, needs to be more clinical and take those chances, put them away. And shout out to Alexis McAllister for the man of the match performance there. He had won 8 duels, really just controlled the midfield, and was a major reason why Liverpool was so dominant in the midfield of that game. Arsenal and Liverpool even on 64 points, and then Manchester City 1 point behind on 63. There's so much more to play for, and there's a bunch of games left. Anything could happen. Point number 3, the penalties. Guys, it needs to be addressed. The penalty shouts from this week have been insane. Starting off with, there was a challenge on Trossard in the Arsenal match. So it looks like there was a cross coming in. Trossard goes to challenge the ball, and Brentford defender pulls him back with an arm around the shoulder, around the neck area. The announcers at the time didn't really see much of it, thought it was pretty light, and claimed that, if Trossard would have been closer to the cross, then it would have been called. But if he didn't get pulled back, he would have been closer to the cross. So another controversy from that game that Thomas Frank, manager of Brentford, made a point about is that should have Havertz even been on the field? Earlier that match, Havertz earned a yellow card, and there was a clear flop in the box where it was very clear that Havertz was trying to earn a penalty, which warrants a second yellow, but the yellow was not given, and Havertz stays on the field and earns an eventual winner. Thomas Frank has a point. Offensive players are given the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time. It's one of those situations where, if he wasn't on a yellow, then I think he would have earned one for that flop. But since he's already on a yellow, it's not worth the second one, which is not how that should work. It is what it is. And then last but not least, we've got to talk about the Manchester City-Liverpool debacle. Late in the match, there's a ball getting cleared. It bounces up. Jeremy Doku goes for the clearance. McAllister rushes in, trying to play the ball with his chest. Both players make contact with the ball. Boot lands on McAllister's chest around this area. No call. From the neutral point of view, I'm glad there was a no call. A game of this magnitude would hate to be decided by a penalty. We see it time and time again that VAR controversy can ruin Premier League games week after week. The only way to save this is for clear and concise ruling on handballs, tackles, and it needs to be enforced consistently throughout the league. Liverpool could have won this game if they had taken their chances. So, awards from this week, game of the week, I'm going to give it to Liverpool Man City. Super exciting watch. Player of the week, I'm going to give it to Heung-min Son for that awesome performance against Aston Villa. Fantasy, I had a stinker of a week. The only player I think performed well was Cole Palmer. And once again, like an idiot, I benched him. What the hell, dude? Games being postponed next week due to the FA Cup. 2 of the games that I would say would be the ones to watch are getting postponed. Chelsea-Arsenal and the Liverpool derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Both are being postponed, but those would be my picks for ones to watch for the next week at match day 29. Guys, throw in the comments below what you guys think should have been called in that Liverpool City game. How do you think refs can save the Prem? Can VAR be fixed? What can we do? But thanks for watching this week. Hope y'all had a good one. Peace.